Here are my hottest, stickiest takes. Just like your mother's pancakes, because she uses a lot of syrup. I would never hit on your mother. Your father, on the other hand. First of all, Starlight is a really good character. We need to start with Erin Moriarty's acting, which is really undersold. I mean, legitimately, just take a look at the scene with her playing opposite herself versus the sociopath shapeshifter. Are you kidding me? She can act, and she does a great job embodying this character who, starts the show with some idealistic innocence. And then as the show goes on, that innocence slowly crumbles, and it's a very good cyclical character arc as well. I mean, she starts out in the tower and she has this like idolization of Maeve. She looked up to Maeve. Maeve was one of her biggest heroes. And when she meets Maeve, she kind of realizes Maeve sort of sucks. Maeve is kind of an asshole, and she doesn't realize it yet because she hasn't peeled back the layers, but Maeve herself had the illusions that had been built up for her also destroyed. And I really enjoy, particularly, there's this conversation that she has with Maeve in the very beginning, and it's just her talking to Maeve and how Maeve was her hero, and essentially showing her disappointment in what she discovered Maeve was. And then in the final season where Annie is talking with Marie has the same sort of conversation with her. So they mirror each other. Just another layer highlighting how Starlight has slowly become Maeve. And part of that, I mean, for both of them is due to Homelander. Homelander inflicted countless traumas upon the both of them. And I feel like made them not only feel completely caged by the life that they were living, but also just like hopeless for the possibility of goodness in the world. I also really like the cyclical nature of her in the Deep. The Deep is kind of the first person who cracks her sense of reality. He's the first person that like damages her innocence. The Deep sexually assaults her. He is the first Jenga block pulled out from her tower before her tower crumbles, okay? And her getting her final fight scene with him is also pretty sick. It's pretty sick. I mean, it's contrived because how the fuck did she get him perfectly to the beach? She doesn't know that all the animals in the ocean want to devour it and kill the Deep. She doesn't know that they have a blood debt going with them. But I still like it nonetheless. I can take a little bit of contrivance. I like there's a limit. But that's fine. It's not too much. It's just a little bit. Oops, we're at the beach. The octopus is gonna tentacle fuck your butthole now to death. I will say her powers do suck though. Whatever. But then you like put her up. There's Homelander. There's fucking A-Train. There's Marie Moreau. Are you kidding me? There's like people are out here blood bending, and she's like her eye. Oh, watch out! Her eyes are glowing. She's pretty cool. I think she's really cool. She's legit one of my favorite characters. I will say there are some plot issues that I do really have questions about. Like back when they were fighting Stormfront, what was she doing? Why could she not absorb all that energy and just beat the shit out of her solo? Why could she not absorb Stormfront's energy? What was that? Okay, that's my first hot take. All right. Pretty hot. I think a lot of people hate Starlight, and just counter out, I really like Starlight. All right, next hot take. All right, next hot take is the language. A lot of people have had issues with the way the language was sort of handled this season. They felt like it was just a little bit too much on the edgy boy humor side. And as someone who like has this disgusting combination of highbrow and edgy boy humor for my own tastes, it doesn't bother me. It bothered me in Game of Thrones because in Game of Thrones, like it just became dick jokes out of nowhere. Like the dialogue used to be good, and then it became like a lot of dick jokes. And when it comes to the boys was always dick jokes. So I don't know exactly where. I guess maybe the complaints are that the characters themselves using their dialogue in terms of their own character is the problem. And it's like, okay, so let's think about it. The main issues are Huey, who says something like, oh, it smells like a 7-Eleven got fucked by an Arby's while a gas station masturbated in the corner. I don't know. Who cares? I think about that, but Huey also said like in the first season, yeah, this apartment is full of rats. They're like Pokemon but with hep C. And it's like, he's not necessarily vulgar all the time, but he does when describing a location, a situation, a place, stuff like that. He says some colorful stuff. It's not like you can delineate between the characters and how their language works and interacts among them, you know? And because you take Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy has a very particular offensive humor where everything he says is offensive, but it's also mean, it's violent, it's horny, it's racist, it's homophobic, it's misogynistic. Talks in, like, they're all talking nasty. They're all talking edgy. It's so silly to say, but there are I'm sorry, there are nuances between all of these characters and the way that they're using their language. And then you have to think about Kimiko. Kimiko is doing all these, like, you know, signs and stuff. And you have to think, right? This sign language is completely made up. This is something she made up with her brother, okay? She made this up with her, she's not talking in English. She's literally talking in a made up language. She understands English, but she doesn't talk in English. Her language wasn't developed in America. It was developed in like a camp. It was developed in a camp of essentially. So her learning to speak, obviously through things like TikTok, whatever, she described, she's gonna have like juvenile language. She talks in a very juvenile manner. She's creating the building blocks of her like American English vernacular, you know, as time goes on. This is her developing as she goes. And you got to think, like, also, it's just fun to be vulgar, you know? It's fun to be vulgar. Like, the first thing you learn when you learn foreign languages, okay, the first thing a lot of people will go for is, hey, what are the dirty words? How do I say the dirty words? What are they? And that's just what Kimiko is doing. And again, the way she talks, it might be nasty, but it's like a teenage boy kind of fucking like perverse joke where you're just enamored by curse words, and it's completely different. Soldier Boy, and how Soldier Boy is just like a more hateful application of speech, which I'm sorry, I also love. Soldier Boy is funny, and his speech is funny, and lines like, do you want some knee pads? That interaction with the deep, it's just funny. I think the characters are perfectly fine the way they are. And again, like, we can also take Annie. Some people, I haven't heard many people talking about Annie. It's mostly Kimiko and saying, oh, Kimiko's cringe. But like, whatever, fuck it. I'm fine with Kimiko being cringe. I laughed at her. I laughed at very specific things when she hugs Starlight and she says, your skin's all greasy. It's like hugging a McRib. Just honestly, it's probably her delivery was good. But the language, I just don't think people are thinking critically about any of this. There's just not. There's just no critical interaction at all with you people. Why is that? Why do you guys just say shit and not like fully think it through? Like, you just don't fucking think. You're not thinking. You can hate it, but think about it. Make it make sense. See if you can make it make sense. And if you can't, that's when there's a problem. That's why Game of Thrones sucked, because none of that shit made sense. You got it? I don't think you do, because I think you just like to hate things, and it makes you feel good and smart to hate things. I mean, it's fine to hate it, though. It is fine to hate things. Just have a good reason, okay? My reason is usually this isn't to my taste, but, you know, some of you just, like, you call things ass. Like, you'll say, like, never trust someone who says something is ass. I promise you, they have not critically thought about anything. And then you have Annie, okay? Annie's language. Annie doesn't, like, she's not, like, the most vulgar, but she does say some vulgar things. Throw dicks all over my body and be like a koosh ball made of dicks. And Annie is... she's always been like funny. I think she's always been a funny person. But I also, again, think I'm going to bring it back to her character arc mirroring Maeve's. She slowly just changed as a person and became like a little bit more grungy just in general. I mean, you can also see this. We're going back to my first hot take. You can see this in the way that she like is vaping now. Like, she didn't have addictions before, but now she does have addictions, right? She has addictions now, like Maeve has addictions, and some of her personality traits are going to mildly change over time. It is what it is. I'm talking to you. You know who I'm talking to if you're out there. You know. Now my number three hot take. The ending didn't suck. I don't know what the fuck you guys want. Like, again, I think that hating the ending of things just gives everyone a fucking boner. It gives everyone an intellect boner at this point. It makes your penis hard with intelligence. It makes makes you feel really smart. Like, it's fine to be dissatisfied with things, but pretending that an ending is as bad as Game of Thrones ending is insane. I don't have the time right now. Maybe later, maybe at another date, maybe then I can go through and tell you why none of these shows are as bad as Game of Thrones ending. But I promise you, from a critical and an analytical perspective, it is totally fucking not. Here's the issue. This is obviously with the aforementioned deep fight, which I did end up liking. The contrivances is really small. It's just they end up at the beach. And then there are some other contrivances like Stormfront being Soldier Boy's like he loves Stormfront for some reason. When in like season 3, she was his like fuck puppet or something. I don't know. I don't remember perfectly, but I do know that it didn't feel like he was in love with her until season 5 to create some weird narrative to give Homelander the V1, which is essentially like, this is just built up to create the need for Kimiko to, you know, become irradiated like Soldier Boy and be able to take away Homelander's powers, because I don't think the virus would have had like a satisfying ending for anybody. I think that would have been a terrible ending, to be honest with you. Besides those two little minor contrivances, honestly, the Stormfront is probably the most egregious one, the one that most people would notice. I loved the ending. The characters all had full and complete arcs. Ryan ended up going with MM, which I thought, you know, was pretty, it made me happy because like MM's actually a good person for the most part. And, you know, MM got back with his wife, and Ryan did not want, you know, to be with Butcher, because Butcher is also a shitty person, just like Homelander. The shit that Butcher has said to him is so fucking unnecessary. Season 3, he fully rejects Ryan. It's so icky. Everything Butcher does is fucking icky, and I'm glad that Ryan had the like intelligence and the, you know, the awareness to say, I don't want to go and start my life over with you. You kind of suck. So you have those two. Their endings were good. Sage's ending, I really liked Sage's ending. I think Sage's had one of my favorite endings, because she got rid of the one thing that was like meant to just being too intelligent, and just being surrounded and aware of how cosmically dumb everyone around you is at all times has to be not only like mentally draining because your brain is always fucking moving, but isolating because there's fucking nobody that can come close to your own you are alone. You are alone. So I do feel pretty good about her ending. It's also just funny. Like, she's just funny. She's funny when she's intelligent. She's funny when she's not. Otterland is that's good. I'm sorry. I don't know what you want from me. I really liked it. It's a cyclical thing. It like solved her problem. She left Ashley too. Ashley, I'm so glad Ashley survived and got impeached. And I'm glad that she finally made a good moral choice for once. I loved Ashley. Ashley was like an incredible character. And Kimiko's ending was sad, and I think hers is probably the saddest, besides Butcher's. But I mean, I guess the character was happy. Hers is kind of the roughest because she lost Frenchie, but I do believe like her character gained a newfound contentment and a newfound power within herself, which is pretty sick. But hers I probably liked the least. I don't know how you could have ended Kiriko's story differently being dead, but it was still a good ending, all things considered. And then you have Annie and Huey. Their ending is so good. I'm so happy to see pregnant Starlight still being a superhero. I really love the both of them. I love that Huey had to be the one to kill Butcher. Butcher's ending did actually make me sad, like Terror being dead right after Ryan. I don't want to say abandoned him, rejected him. Butcher did all the abandoning. Butcher built the house of poison that eventually killed all of the hope that he had for the future. Like, a lot of this is his fault, right? It just makes fucking sense. I don't know what to tell you. It makes sense. And him like reaching his darkest peak and then going all the way up to, the top of Watt Tower or whatever, and having the virus, ready to kill all the fucking soups. I feel like what do we think? Do we think he wanted to die? I don't know. I don't know if he wanted to die or if he's just like on some infinite fucking hell path, which is insane, by the way. I'm glad that Huey had to kill him. It sounds fucked up and dark, but I think this was sort of like a big moment for both of their characters. Also, the fact that Huey like reminding Butcher of Lenny is what made Butcher step down from, you know, the edge and just like briefly get caught up long enough for Huey to shoot him, I thought was pretty good. Because that sort of resolved that whole like character thread that's been going out throughout the entirety of the series. And then we have Stan Edgar still taking over Bot. CEO is so good. It is so good. His like commentary at the end that they need a steady hand and these turbulent times, like this is just, that reflects reality, I feel. I really enjoyed that. Well, the Deep again, by the way, before we go on to Homelander. The Deep, I hated the Deep more than Homelander. I hated the Deep more than Stormfront. I don't think there's any character I hate more in that show than the Deep. I'm glad that he got like fisted to death by a giant squid. I wish it would have lasted longer. I wish it really would have went up there nice and slow. And I'm also glad that Homelander like finally immediately just laid the truth out there. Like, I hate you. I hate everything about you. You understand? I hate, and I want you to know it. I loved that scene between the two of them. Because he's just fucking sucks. He's the worst character. He has no morals. He's such a disgusting little sycophant. He's the most dishonest character in the show. And that's saying a fucking lot. And then, okay, Homelander. I feel like, I wonder how many people are upset about Homelander's ending. I fucking loved it. I loved that it took Butcher and Ryan both fighting him to get to a point where Kimiko could irradiate him and take his powers away, and just seeing him after character beyond character beyond character into infinity told him that he was nothing. He was just a scared little man, and without his powers, he would truly be nothing, because that's all he fucking has. That's all he has. And it wasn't even like he earned his powers. They were just fucking given to him, and to use them as some like point of authority, some point of godhood. You've done nothing with your powers. He also like constantly lives in this state of disassociation to where he thinks that he helps people. Like he says it in the final season. He says it throughout the series, I believe, where he truly believes he's helping people. You're not. You're not helping people. Everybody hates you. The people who don't hate you are fucking scared of you because you're a monster, okay? But I do love seeing him lose his powers and just like that idea being reflected within Homelander as a powerless human being. And also, obviously, it's satisfying to see Butcher beat the shit out of him. But like, I think the most important point here is just Anthony Starr's acting. Holy shit. It was so fucking blood curdling. Him on the ground covered in blood. Just fucking covered in it. Screaming. That's what you do. I'll do it. Like him, like it was so fucking good. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. And opening up his skull like a can of Coca-Cola. That was beautiful. That was art. I don't know what to tell you. Again, I really loved all of these character arcs and their ends. You know, it just, I think the show did a really good job. I think they probably could have had like one more episode in between. I will say the only thing I didn't like about the ending, like truly hated, was the way the Gen V characters were handled. I'm assuming they didn't know Gen V was going to be canceled, but the way these fucking characters were handled was so bad. They're just tossed the fuck off. They are tossed off so hard. And it's kind of depressing because some of those characters were really cool. Marie Moreau was really cool. Cricket and Kate, oh my God, I actually really liked Gen V. I get Gen V was a lot more corny than the boys and probably like encroached upon the territory of being disingenuous a little bit too many times, but it was a really fun series, and I'm sad to see it go. Sad to see it go the way it did, because they just have these, the last time we see the characters is them smuggling human beings across the border. Wow. Especially if you watched Gen V, the last episode, like Marie Moreau, it becomes incredibly powerful. Like incredibly powerful, up to being able to resurrect people. Why she could have saved Frenchie. I mean, I don't know how long someone has to be cold, but they probably should have just had her there the whole time. Though I will say, if they would have had her come in to fight Homelander, that would have been really fucking terrible. Here's this character who, like, if you've never watched NZ, who's this random fucking NPC coming in to fucking kill Homelander? I know that would have been a problem because you don't know her. She'd be random. But I feel like they should have done probably something different there. They should have thought this through. They should have thought through what would happen if the show didn't get a third season. But I do understand there was a lot of troubles with the production, so I can't be too mad about it. Anyway, those are my hot sticky takes. You know what? Subscribe for more hot sticky takes. Bye.